Ahoy Pirates! This is the full application process for Japan's digital nomad visa in one video. Watch closely because many people run into trouble while applying. A successful visa application follows 5 simple steps, and this video will walk you through them all and shows you all the requirements, document tricks, and embassy tips, as well as sharing my perspective of living for over a year as a digital nomad in Japan. Digital nomad visas are somewhat niche for most embassies. Therefore, it's common to run into difficulties and challenges while applying for the visa. The video is backed up with official government info and people who already successfully applied for the digital nomad visa for Japan. First of all, the digital nomad visa officially falls under the residence status of specific activities, notification number 53, which is aimed at accommodating remote workers who wish to reside and work in Japan for an extended period. Digital nomads who wish to work remotely in Japan for up to 6 months qualify. Plus, if you bring your spouse or child along for the adventure, they can tag along under your visa as well. Find the PDF process chart I created in the description. Step 1. Check if you fulfill certain requirements. To qualify for the digital nomad visa in Japan, you must meet all of them. This is a short list of all requirements with all links to documents and more info next to it. You must have a steady income from a source outside Japan. At the time of your application, the annual income must be 10 million yen or more. Your work must primarily involve telecommuting or online work. You must have a valid passport with at least 6 months of validity remaining. You must have the nationality listed in the list of eligible countries and regions. Find the link in the chart. You must have medical insurance, such as overseas travel accident insurance for death, injury, and illness, covering the planned period of stay. The amount of compensation for treatment costs for injuries and illnesses must be 10 million yen or more. I can recommend an insurance that most of my nomad friends happily use and is verified by the Japanese government. Find the insurance link in the description or an insurance video guide here. It is not necessary to have a sponsor in Japan or to have a Certificate of Eligibility (COE) for the digital nomad visa. But if you do have a COE, you do not need to submit the other required documents, such as your annual income. The sponsor could be a company, organization, or individual who can vouch for your stay and support your application. It's getting interesting here. If you check out the process to apply for the COE, you do need to submit a document stating your salary, but the amount doesn't matter. Does that mean you can apply for a COE without an annual income of 10 million yen? If you then receive the COE, you can skip submitting the bank statement of 10 million yen to get your digital nomad visa. Find a video explaining all requirements in detail here. Step 2. You need to download and fill out all required documents. I created a PDF chart for you with more info and a checklist for your documentation of the process. Find the download link in the description. It's the same process as on the official website but better illustrated. Number 1. You need a photo that meets the specific standards and submit it as an attachment to the application form. Be aware that if an application is submitted using an inappropriate photo that does not meet the specific standards, they will ask you to retake the photo. Number 2. You need to fill out a visa application form. This document gave the applicant and the embassy the most trouble, since guarantor isn't applicable and inviter isn't either. Additionally, it is unknown what to write for an address in Japan if you don't have accommodation yet. As of May 2024, the embassy suggests writing not applicable. Also, you do need to state the port of entry and airline and arrival date. You don't need to buy a plane ticket beforehand, but you need to write which airline and airport you want to arrive on a specific date. Number 3. You also need to submit your passport from an eligible country or region. Number 4. You also need to fill out a document called Description of Intended Activities. Just explain your planned activities during your stay in Japan. As an example, I wrote down the city name of Sapporo to go snowboarding in the wintertime, and my plans until the estimated date. I would live in Okinawa to surf, dive, sail, and train karate. Number 5. You need to provide a bank statement, which should be a document showing that your annual income is 10 million Japanese yen or more. This can be a tax payment certificate, income certificate, employment contract, or a contract with a business partner, which certainly states the contract period and the contract amount. You only need to submit one document. You do not have to run any paperwork through your workspace, and only the proof of your salary or pay slips are enough. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, shred the like button so more people can experience living in Japan. Number 6. You do need to have medical insurance. Please be aware that also accidental death needs to be stated in the certificate. The certificate also needs to state the medical coverage, medical evacuation benefits, and reparation of mortal remains. In case you would like to be 100% sure about the right insurance, I linked an insurance company in the description, which is approved by the Japanese government for the digital nomad visa. Using the link is highly appreciated by me, hence it's an affiliate, and I do trust the company. Most of my digital nomad friends are also happy clients. I recommend marking and highlighting important items that meet visa requirements, such as insurance coverage amounts. Japanese like organization and paper, so if you have a structure and some post-its, they will see the effort and the process goes smoothly. Number 7. Documents for kids and spouse. If you would like your kids or spouse to accompany you to Japan, keep in mind to submit additional documents, which you can find in the PDF chart. As of May 2024, gay marriage isn't legal in Japan, but I wonder if a legal same-sex marriage from overseas is eligible for the visa requirements. Number 8. A certificate of eligibility, COE, if you apply from Japan and not from overseas. Step 3. Let's talk about a certificate of eligibility, COE. No, you do not need a COE for the digital nomad visa when applying from overseas. But be aware, if you are already in Japan, a COE is required for the application for a digital nomad visa. The process will go much easier if you got a COE, and it's much easier to get one while being in Japan than from overseas. But how do you apply for the COE? First, you need to download and fill out the documents as well as print it. Find the document link in the PDF chart in the description. When you are already in Japan with a visitor visa, the COE is needed for the application. Be aware that without a COE, it is very difficult to change a visitor visa to a nomad visa. You need to apply for the COE in person at your nearest immigration bureau in Japan. If you are not in Japan, you need a representative who does it for you in Japan. Your representative in Japan can submit the COE application to the immigration bureau that represents the region of Japan in which you will live or in which you will work. You can also find a link with a list of where to apply for the COE within Japan in the PDF chart. Once the application has been processed, your representative has to mail the COE to you so you can apply for your visa and enter Japan. When I applied for my COE, it took some time to prove the document was filled correctly by the company helping me. The government even called the company to ensure everything was legit, with some in-depth questions before the process could continue. Small interruption before I explain the process further. Here's a list of what I had to consider organizing while living in Japan. For all these topics, you find videos on this YouTube channel. Finding housing, monthly costs and money breakdowns, what you need to know before coming, buying a car, translating my driver's license, good places to settle down for a while, unique experiences while connecting with locals, renting stuff, storing stuff, traveling around, events and festivals, and so much more. Step 4 is submitting your documents. If you got all documents together, you need to print out all the documents. If you are looking to print in Japan, I created a video for you on how to use the convenience store printers here. The easiest way is to print in convenience stores. If you have a USB drive, you can plug it in and just print. Otherwise, you can download an app on your phone and upload it directly to the machine. All the instructions will be in English. To make your submitting process easier, print out the official website in Japanese from the foreign ministry, so the people working in the Japanese embassy or consulate will understand which visa you are applying for. They will ask you for your visa application and your COE. But just show them the printed website again and they will understand you don't need a COE except you got one just in case. The consulate worker will double check with a different document that has all the requirements for the digital nomad visa in Japanese. Step 5. Receiving the visa. Currently, the consulate and embassy will advise you to call them back within 2 weeks to check the application process, because the headquarters in Japan processes the visa. This step might be different in the future. It is not clear how long it takes to receive the visa, but mine didn't take longer than 1 month. You or a representative need to pick up the passport and visa in person. The visa is valid for a single entry within the next 3 months of the approval, which means if you leave before the 6 months are up, you won't be allowed back on the same visa. It might be possible to apply for a re-entry permit at an immigration office while in Japan though. If this video is helpful for you and you want more digital nomad info, a subscribe would mean the world to me in finding my real audience. Please find all the links in the description. Check out more videos about the nomad lifestyle and how to organize living or traveling in Japan on this channel. See you in the next one. Cheers and live your ikigai!